please hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button. Hope everybody is stocked up for the incoming storms. Some people might be a little bit too stocked up. I mean, I guess you can never be too prepared, and better safe than sorry. But I saw someone with like half a cupboard full of menstrual products. I'm like, are you really just preparing for you or the whole village? But I guess you can never be too prepared. I mean, as a general rule, by the way, you all who have been around for long enough know that I'm really big on preparedness. You should always have at least 2 weeks worth of emergency supplies, water. If you have a garden and can store gas canisters safely, portable campfire. If you don't have a place to store a gas canister safely, you can actually always get one of those campfires, which is just like a metal, like a circular ring, and you could use that for to make a wood fire if you need to cook. So there's like different ways that you can just make sure if you don't have electricity, power goes out, water goes out, that you are going to be able to look after yourself and feed your family. So please, preparedness is very important. So I just wanted to share that message. I always find it really funny, people who who have this preparedness survivalist mentality, preparing for the end of the world. Like, if the world is ending, there's no need to prepare. What you need to prepare for is disasters and how to get over those disasters. Also, looking at the way that the United States is going, I would tell everybody who's an American citizen who's listening to me, start getting a little bit more into preparedness. Having extra supplies, if you have a little bit of space in the garden, growing your own food. Even if you don't have a garden, you can do like vertical gardening. Look into stuff like that, please. Please think about how you're going to look after yourself or what supplies you're going to have if things deteriorate and you have to get over a long period of things in a state of deterioration. Because honestly, I feel like it's going that way. So please think more about your preparedness. Right. Lady T, have everything ready? Good. Suzuki, you're busy in the kitchen. Great. What are you cooking, Suzuki? Right. Let's get into it because there's some rather interesting things. Positive stuff first. Meghan posted on the As Ever official with her doggy. I believe that's Pula. Very serene, very peaceful. We love it. Also, Harry is back in the US. He's back from, I guess, part 1 of this trial. I don't know if he's scheduled to go back or when he's scheduled to go back, or I don't really know the ins and outs in terms of legalities of this court case. I just know that they're trying to decipher whether or not the articles that were written using information that was obtained illegally. But in terms of, who's taking the stand when, how long things will be deliberated for, the next steps, I need to look a little bit more into that. But for now, because this is a 9-week trial, but for now, Harry's back in the US. He joined Meghan at a film premiere. This is for is it Queen Cookies? This documentary, hang on a sec, let me just find it on Harper's Bazaar. Yeah, sorry, Cookie Queens, not Queen Cookies. So, Cookie Queens documentary. So, This is about Girl Scouts and their families during the height of cookie season, and the highs and lows of the nostalgic yet modern tradition, and one the royal herself knows a thing or two about because Meghan was a scout girl. Meghan said, as a former scout girl myself with my mum as my troop leader, I have a personal affinity for this film and am proud that all our conversations and collaboration have led to Archwell Productions partnering with this award winning team to executive produce this incredibly captivating documentary. When we first viewed the early footage of this documentary, it was immediately something we wanted to be involved in. It's actually really hard for these types of documentaries and films, first of all, to just get greenlit, and secondly, to get funding. Even though these are the type of stories that we need more of. Like, I don't need to see 100 more superhero movies and New York getting destroyed by some big green monster. I want to see more of this. And it's great to see Archwell Productions not only throwing money at this, but showing up and giving their presence. Harry and Meghan giving their presence. And this centering around young girls doing something fun and empowering. Great. Meghan posed with the young girls. I love that she kept her outfit nice and casual, appropriate for the occasion. And I think it's great they still do this like Girl Scout stuff. Something good for the youth. Get them off of their phones. So it's a joyous, heartwarming, utterly sweet ride that cheers on the girls' grit and ingenuity. And the film stays focused on the girls and their individual journeys, offering a sincere, playful window into a multi-million-dollar industry powered by their cookie booth. This is, I do think that we do something similar in the UK, but I don't think it's as ingrained in the culture as it is in the US. Like, I very much heard about Girl Scouts and cookie stuff. Like, I've always known it to be a very US tradition, and if it does in the way that it does exist in the UK, it was probably inspired by that. So hopefully it will be available on, I don't know, streaming platforms or other places where we can watch it, because it sounds very interesting. And the pictures are very, very sweet from the premiere. How lovely. All right, let's get on to some less nice things, but still rather relevant. Now, I said if you were going down to that courthouse, be careful. Did I not say that? And now it comes out that Harry's stalker sat meters behind him at the trial. Now, I think it's about time that we actually got a picture of this person. From the one very blurry picture that we did get some weeks ago when we first heard about the stalker, it appeared to be a black woman with like a long weave from that picture. But I think that we deserve to actually see who this person is. There was a squaddy who's been tweeting, who said that she was in at the court. I'm gonna try and message her and see maybe if she'd be willing to come onto the podcast, or if she saw anyone who resembled the stalker. I find this incredibly creepy. And call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but I can't help but feel that this woman is some kind of operative, because this is, I think, the third or the fourth time she's come into close contact with Harry. Last time Harry was in the UK when he came for the Well Child, and then he went to Ukraine straight afterwards. That stalker was also around, managed to find out where he was staying. And this stalker has also apparently gone overseas to follow Harry and Meghan to Nigeria. Now, let's just assume for a moment that she isn't some kind of operative, and I believe that she is. Let's say she's genuinely like a stalker. Stalking laws are unfortunately very bad. One of the things stalking victims have been trying to fight is how the authorities react to stalkers. Because what happens is that victims are told, well, they haven't physically done anything to you, so we can't do anything to them. Now, the problem is that in very extreme cases, said stalker ends up violently attacking or unaliving the victim or the perpetrator. And in most cases, the victim or the perpetrator is a woman. Sorry, the victim is a woman and the perpetrator is a man. But I'm just trying to make the point that unfortunately the laws are such that it is very difficult to prosecute a stalker that has not done anything, when the law should actually be that it deals with the stalker before they can do something. If somebody shows behaviors that if they're showing behaviors of fixation, of obsession, as far as I'm concerned, something needs to be done to that person before the behavior escalates. If somebody is literally getting on a plane to go and stalk someone in another country, I'm sorry, that person is 100% capable of unaliving someone. Nobody that is mentally stable is going to get on a plane to go to another country and try to find someone. That is dangerous behavior. Also, because this was a court, as a public area, they technically can't stop her. Or at least we think it's a her. That hasn't been confirmed. They cannot stop them, whoever they are. But I believe that there's something about this whole stalker thing that is fishy. Also, this is the second time that we've heard about this stalker, and the first time, and now even this time, we're hearing about it through the Telegraph. Why does the Telegraph in particular seem to be able to get this intel before anybody else, before maybe even the Daily Fail? Let's have a read of this. Oh, and by the way, this article is written by Victoria Ward, one of the Rotarats. The Duke of Sussex's stalker sat a stone's throw from him on 2 occasions at the High Court last week. The Telegraph can reveal. So it was the Telegraph that got this exclusive. So how is the Telegraph managing to get this exclusive on Harry's stalker? Harry was in court for the opening of his privacy trial against the publisher, the Daily Fail, and gave evidence 2 days later. It can now be revealed that the known stalker, who is understood to be suffering from mental health issues, attended the hearing for 4 days. The Duke was in court, taking a seat in the public gallery just a few meters behind him. Well, suffering from mental health issues, has all the time to go down to a courthouse. Does this person not have a job? On both occasions, the woman, okay, so it is a woman, who is on a list of known fixated individuals, so there's a whole list of them, drawn up by a private intelligence company for the Duke, was immediately noticed by his private security team, which in turn alerted court security staff. A source close to the Duke said there is nothing they could do. They are not the police. It's a public building and she has the right to be there. This is clear intimidation. Because there are stalkers who are fans, and there are stalkers who are not fans and who want to hurt that person. Fans can also be fanatical in sometimes, but generally speaking, fans don't necessarily want to hurt the person. They just want to get close to them, but they're not necessarily dangerous. We don't know what type of stalker this woman is. But I'm going to just assume that she's dangerous. They added, he's obviously always worried about his security situation. It's not ideal. The incident coincided with an ongoing review of security threat posed to the Duke, which was ordered by the Home Office in December. The Duke spent little more than 2 hours in the stand on Wednesday, breaking down as he alleged that journalists working for Associated Newspapers made his wife's life an absolute misery. So this stalker has attended previous events. The Duke returned to the US on Saturday when he was scheduled to attend the premiere of Cookie Queens at Sundance Festival alongside his wife. The stalker previously followed the Duke to Nigeria and last September evaded security to get into a secure zone at a central London hotel where he was attending the World Child Awards. I mean, I just find that phenomenal. How did she manage to evade security? And also, how did she even find out that Harry was there? The most dedicated squaddy you know was in their house minding their business. But this stalker person managed to get past the secure zone? Insane. She was also seen near him 2 days later at the Centre for Blast Injury Studies in West London. Security sources said, who are these security sources that done told the Telegraph? The Telegraph, which by the way is 100% propaganda mouthpiece for the royal household, and is trying to the Daily Mail are trying to take them over. So these so-called security sources who said and who have given the Telegraph this exclusive about Harry's stalker in the courthouse, who are these sources? After losing his appeal, Harry wrote to Shabana Mahmood, the newly appointed Home Secretary, hopeful that she would take a different approach to her predecessor, Yvette Cooper. Some 2 months later, it had emerged he had been granted a security review by the Risk Management Board, the expert body that submits its findings to the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, RAVEC, the secretive committee responsible for making such decisions. Listen, at this point, we can just say that RAVEC is the palace. Let's just keep it real here. RAVEC is the palace. I don't know why we're trying to separate the two. Neil Basu, the former head of the UK Counter-Terrorism Unit, who held various positions on RAVEC between 2018 and 2021, believes that without armed protection, the Duke has been left exposed. I feel like they're trying to create a narrative here. And this is why I don't care if you call me a conspiracy theorist. There's something that's very fishy about this. Because I see a narrative further down the line of crazy stalker tries to unalive Duchess Meghan or Prince Harry. Like, it feels like they're trying to build a narrative. He told the Telegraph that to have a stalker repeatedly appearing in front of you must be incredibly anxiety-inducing. There are clearly people with fixations, and you can never fully know where that fixation will lead until you've assessed that person's state of mind. It might be a declaration of undying love and sending roses, or it might be wanting to cause harm. I personally feel this is wanting to cause harm. Because again, the most dedicated squaddy you know stays in their house and minds their business. And I feel like us in this space, and this is why I said what I said about, you know, if you're going down to the courthouse, you know, be respectful, don't be rushing up to Harry or security or anything like that, because I feel like those of us who have been in this space for a long time, we respect, you know, what Harry and Meghan have gone through, and we wouldn't want to do anything or be a presence that feels threatening. And so I feel that this person that is trying to linger around Harry and Meghan, I feel that they are a threat. I I don't feel that they're just like, some like hardcore fan who's just very dedicated. Um As one of the most recognizable men on the planet, his threat and risk will be, in my view, the same as it was in 2019. It may even have increased because of the publicity around him. Indeed. So we're still actually waiting for the security decision from so-called Ryback. We'll see how that goes. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry. I hope I haven't been out for too long. My sound suddenly went off. Did you all just hear the last part of what I said? I said the so-called stalker just happened to come from the UK. The so-called stalker just happened to come from the UK. Boney Mighty said, "Is it the woman that went to New York after Meghan?" No, I don't believe it's that lady. I don't believe it's her, because the woman, if it's the woman that we saw last time in the very blurry photo, that showed what appeared to be a black woman. And I believe the woman in New York was a white woman. So I think this is a completely different person. But yeah, that was also creepy. Hmm. Cynthia, I hope the UK court system has a very good security screening system for people entering the courtroom. Clearly not. There's a public gallery you can go in. Okay. Oh, listen, just pray for Harry and Meghan's safety. More so in Trump's America. I've got these Heritage Foundation folks going absolutely mad with power. Goodness knows what they're going to try and pull. But I think that leading up to Birmingham Invictus, you're going to see a change of tune, even if it's temporarily. And speaking of Invictus and veterans, let's get onto this nonsense. I'm not going to put that orange clown on the screen. I'm not going to play a clip of what he said, but I think we're all pretty much aware now of that orange baboon's latest gaffe. Dictator in chief, the election stealer, Donald Trump, claiming that British troops weren't really on the front line and didn't really do anything in Afghanistan. So Harry really released a statement. Now, he does not mention Trump at all. Meghan also posted a whole bunch of photos on her Instagram stories of veterans, her husband in Afghanistan, Invictus veterans, limbs blown off, and all the rest of it. So they both responded in their own ways. Harry responded more directly, but again, he never actually mentions Donald Trump's name. He says, in 2001, NATO evoked Article 5 for the first and only time in history. It meant that every allied nation was obliged to stand with the United States in Afghanistan in pursuit of our shared security. Allies answered that call. I served there, I made lifelong friends there, and I lost my friends there. The United Kingdom alone had 457 service personnel killed. Thousands of lives were changed forever. Mothers and fathers buried sons and daughters. Children were left without a parent. Families are left carrying the cost. Those sacrifices deserve to be spoken about truthfully and with respect. as we all remain united and loyal to the defense of diplomacy and peace. Now, personally, I take issues with the war in Afghanistan. I think there's a huge element to it that was very imperialist, but it is factually incorrect, and I think this is the point here. It is factually incorrect to say that there were not British soldiers on the front line doing anything. That is just not true. And so, for the sitting president of the United States to say that about the soldiers of their closest ally is just not acceptable. And it's factually incorrect. The UK Prime Minister did bite back. I wish he would bite back a little bit more. In fact, he should have bitten back 100 times before, and the UK wouldn't look like an embarrassment right now. The very reason why Trump feels emboldened to even say that is because the United Kingdom has been being a pushover. In fact, the whole world has been being a pushover to the orange baboon. So that did not go down well at all. Dear oh dear. The orange menace is the devil, and the sorry, I need to cough. The orange menace is the devil, and there's a special place in hell for him and his kind. I don't even think hell will want him and his kind by the time this is over. We're gonna have to dig a new section in the Earth's core. I don't even think hell will want them for what they're doing and how they're behaving. Oh yeah, not just the UK, also NATO troops as well. Trump doesn't care about soldiers, even our own. He insulted John McCain and Gold Star families. Well, it doesn't surprise me because him and even his great grandfather, weren't they both draft dodgers? So, would it surprise anyone that he does not care about soldiers? Which is strange because actually, the military are some of Trump's biggest supporters. I mean, he was standing there at that naval base talking absolute nonsense. And a lot of them, most of them were just there clapping like seals. The president may be so-called commander in chief of the army, but wherever you are in the world, whether it's the US or anywhere else, the army's first call of action is to be defender of the people, not just follow whoever is in leadership. I hope this is a wake-up call to people in the military, because a lot of them are his biggest supporters. Roseanne, you said you can go in any courtroom in the UK unless there's special measures for the protection of the victims and witnesses. I had to give evidence in one such and was glad there was no public there. Yeah. Lottie Anne, I don't believe that this woman is black. If she is, then someone is paying her to do this. Well, I'm just going off of what I saw in that Telegraph article, and obviously we know the Telegraph is propagandist, but that is the only, I'm just going off the only visual that I have seen of this woman so far. If she was wrongly photographed and has been wrongly shown as the stalker, then as and when we get a correction on that, of course I will show who it is. But that's why I think that we need to get a visual at this point. If she can show up to a public courthouse, why can't we get a visual on her? Because if she is UK based, right, without a doubt, she's going to show up to Invictus. Heck, she'll be camping there before the fans even get there. And if she's out here stalking Harry, I believe that she's a danger to the general public and even people who might be fans of Harry and Meghan. Like I would now be very careful if I was, going to see Harry and Meghan anywhere, or if Harry comes to the UK. I would just be careful now. If we've got this lurker lurking around. Rosani said, before entering a UK court, there are machines similar to the ones at the airport. You walk under and you empty your bags and pockets and leave anything that can cause harm outside the courtroom. Well, if somebody is honestly crazy enough, they will use their bare hands and teeth to come at you. Somebody who's willing to get on a plane from the United Kingdom to Nigeria, I wouldn't put it past her to try and jump and use her hands and teeth. Wendy, you said the stalker had access to a security space. Then why should Harry bring his family to the UK? Exactly. Exactly. Wasn't they blaming Harry that he set it up with a stalker to get security? I'm sure they would try to paint that narrative. It doesn't surprise me. Lola, you said she's a danger to Harry, but if she's got a romantic fixation for Harry, she will be a danger to Meghan. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think she has to have a romantic fixation to Harry to be a danger for Meghan. There are just a lot of women who are just darn crazy who have a fixation with Meghan. I'm so glad that Harry said something. Because he said something, it was actually all over the UK news. I saw the clips coming up on my feed. So bravo to Harry for saying something. Much respect. Side note, apparently the UK is now going to have its own version of the FBI. I always assumed that was, I guess, MI6 and MI5, MI5 being national security and counter-terrorism intelligence, MI6 being overseas counter-terrorism and intelligence, and that they worked inland with other security and police forces. But that was always my assumption. Like, I always thought we had our own version of the FBI. But apparently, they are bringing in their own version of the FBI. And this will be created to fight the most serious crimes and help local police forces focus on tackling everyday offences. They can start at the BBC. This so-called British FBI needs to start at the BBC. And then once they're done with the officers at the BBC, they can go straight down to the palace and arrest Prince Andrew. Oh yeah, he's no longer Prince, I forgot. He's Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. So start with the BBC and then go straight down to Forest Lodge and get Andrew. That should be the first thing this so-called British FBI do. I wonder how much this is costing. I mean, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing, but I'm just wondering, are the attention and efforts really going to go first and foremost where they need to go? Right. That is all from me, folks, for today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I will just go through your comments and then we will wrap things up. Great to see Harry and Meghan out and about, though, doing something fun. Supporting a great movie, great people, surrounding themselves with great people. We love to see it. Also, do make sure that you are subscribed to the As Ever newsletters. Marketing newsletters are so good. One that came through recently was the Winter Warmers edit. So the candles and the mulling spice. I just love the branding and everything is just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to actually get my hands on this. As and when they introduce international shipping. Love it, love it. Heather, what is MI5? I believe MI5 is the National Counterterrorism. Okay, wait, let me just Google it. Yeah, so yeah, sorry, I meant to say domestic instead of national. The United Kingdom's domestic counterintelligence and security agency. So they're responsible for protecting national security threats like terrorism, espionage, and cyber attacks. And it investigates individuals or groups threatening British interests, and it operates under the Home Secretary. That's MI5. Now, I believe MI6 is the overseas version of that. So MI6 is the United Kingdom's foreign intelligence agency responsible for collecting, analyzing, and acting on intelligence from overseas to protect national security and economic interest. So that's the difference between the two. Lola, what did Charles say? I haven't heard anything about him taking credit. What did Charles say about, or has Charles said anything about Trump? Is that what you're saying? Listen, I absolutely guarantee you, come the end of this week, we're gonna see Kate come out in, a blue suit with a red tie and a white shirt. And there's going to be an article in Tatler about how this is Kate's subtle support for our troops after Donald Trump's comments. You're going to get something stupid like that. Jean Campbell, you said, I think the stalker label is a way of criminalizing a Black Sussex supporter because we know how the police and media roll when it comes to people of color. I don't think that this person is a true Sussex supporter. I just don't. Because in my 4 years of being in this space, I've never known Squaddy to behave like this. And the fact that she is actually on a watch list. She's on Harry's people's watch list. So I don't think it's just the police and the media trying to criminalize or profile her. I genuinely think that there's a good reason why this person is on a watch list and why Harry's people are concerned about her. Yeah, Gwen, I don't trust these people in any way. I don't think Harry can never trust them. But it is very scary that she keeps on managing to get so close. Yes, Wendy. Harry honored veterans by defending them in his comments, while William is going to save the pubs. He's going to save the pubs, end homelessness, save the polar bears, make the environment better, bring peace to the Middle East. He's going to do all of that, apparently. Superman, William is. Superman on his scooter, riding through the grounds of Windsor. The Sun tabloid has in bold headlines today, Charles spoke with Trump and Charles resolved it all. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. But of course, they would jump on the opportunity to make it look like that because they're embarrassed that Harry said something first. Yeah, it's not squaddy behavior to behave like this. All right. Gonna end things there, folks. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Enjoy your day. Links in bio and in the pinned comment in the comment section if you would like to donate to the channel. Helps the channel keep going and growing. Appreciate you all, and I will see you in tomorrow's podcast. Ciao.